I'm an entrepreneur.
What's the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
So the most amount of money that we have done will be this year. We'll do about 90 million.
What did you do to be able to afford a yacht?
I'm in the oil industry.
Are you a business owner?
I am.
How long have you been a business owner?
Oh my gosh, well, I'm no longer really a business owner. I sold it in 2023.
Sold a company?
I sold my company,
For
yeah.
how much?
For me, my equity shares were worth about
Billionaire?
Yes.
You're a billionaire.
Yes.
You're a business owner?
I am. I'm one of only 20 female founders in the United States that have founded a billion-dollar brand.
It's a billion-dollar company.
A billion-dollar company with a B.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
This is RichNation WBPT podcast, the #1 podcast in the world. We introduce you to the people and ideas, and we bring people together.
Is this your G-Wagon?
Yes.
And what do you do for a living out here in Miami to be able to afford a G-Wagon?
I'm in the oil industry.
You're in the oil business?
Yes, oil business.
Are you a business owner?
I am.
How long have you been a business owner?
For like 16 years.
Over these 16 years across your companies, what's the most amount of money you've made in a single year?
I don't know if I should say that.
Give me a range. Revenue, not personal. Revenue.
Between 6 to 7 million.
$7 million.
Yes, $7 million.
So you're a millionaire.
Absolutely.
Yes. What is the best financial advice that you've ever received?
Well-behaved women rarely make history. Women who play by the rules, they won't really get anywhere. You got to break the rules.
Now you're in the oil business.
I am.
What business has made you the most money?
I think manufacturing solar panels. And I think pumping crude oil.
What's the biggest deal you've ever closed?
It was like a $28 million deal.
$20 million.
Yeah, it was a $28 million deal.
$28
million deal, but I got commission. It wasn't my deal, but I did it in Puerto Rico. I did it in the airport, and the commission was hefty.
In the oil business, or what was that?
In the oil business, and I was 21.
Are you a buyer or a seller?
I feel like I'm both, depending on what the market is. But I'm a seller. I sell.
Are you good at sales?
I can sell water to a fish. Well, I've been selling for years.
Right.
I've been selling for years, and I was in corporate customer service for 10 years, so I know how to deal with people.
What's your secret to selling?
You're not asking the wrong questions. You're asking the wrong person.
That's game right
Yeah,
there.
keep asking. Go get a loan, sign up for whatever. Closed mouths don't get fed. And don't be afraid. Just go. If you don't go to the banks, if you don't try and find lenders, you're not going to know what you need.
So you weren't afraid to borrow money from
No,
banks?
I borrow money all the time.
Actually?
I do.
How do you leverage that debt into wealth, though?
Well, I spread it out. I spread it out and I multiply it. A lot of the times you say, okay, this is where we're going to spend it, but I budget it and I spread it out. And a lot of the times I pay it back before it even makes what it needs to make.
So if you lost everything tomorrow, could you make it all back?
Absolutely. I can make it in 10 phone calls.
So your network's important.
My network is hefty. Big players.
Have you ever met a billionaire?
Can date billionaires.
You dated billionaires? Well, what have you learned from all the billionaires that you've met, that you've interacted with, that you've networked with? What do billionaires do differently from everybody else?
I think that more than anything, they like to talk. They like quality time. They like listeners. And they can separate the doers from the non-doers. You're going to be a student for life and be open to that. It doesn't matter where you are. I'm constantly learning, and I'm going to learn until my last breath. So billionaires, they love that. It's the playground, and you got to take notes. You got to file taxes like a billionaire. You got to be a big girl if you want to be with the
Have
big
you
boys.
filed taxes like a billionaire?
All the time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So do you pay a lot in taxes? Or
I mean, I have several trust accounts, so
what's the best way to not pay a lot of taxes? Because the wealthiest people I've met, they don't pay any taxes.
I would say knowing how to do business, knowing how to write off, and then of course actually securing your wealth. And I want to say making sure that you have that generational wealth by having trust accounts, by having certain portfolios, and filing it properly, doing business properly, and knowing exactly how you can write off. You really have to have a really good financial advisor and have a really crazy financial team. Like your team has to be hardcore. Invest in it. Invest in it, because the more you invest in the best financial advisors and the best tax attorneys, you're going to save a lot of money.
Right.
Like when you build a team in every single part of your business, when you build the right team, they make money for you. In your sleep, you can trust everybody. I think your team, investing in your
Is this your Bentley?
Yes, it is.
And what do you do for a living out here in Miami to be able to afford a Bentley?
I'm an entrepreneur and an investor.
How long have you been a business owner?
Oh my gosh, well, I'm no longer really a business owner. I sold it in 2023.
Sold a company?
I sold my company,
For
yeah.
how much?
For me, my equity shares were worth about 90 million.
$90 billion?
Yeah.
So how much was the total company sold for?
Well, the company was valued at the time a little over 300 million.
$300 million?
Yeah.
How long have you been a business owner?
Well, I owned Solidcore for almost 10 years before I sold it.
What investment made you the most money?
Solidcore. But I mean, I put 175 grand into Solidcore and it turned into $100 million in 10 years.
So in other words, putting the money back into the business and
Yes.
investing in yourself is the best thing that somebody
Oh my
can do.
God, I would bet on myself every day and twice on Sunday. Like there is no better bet than me because I know I'm gonna win, and if I'm passionate about something, something, I'm going to give everything I got. Now I'm a little bit more in wealth preservation mode. So the money that I made, I want to continue to make money. That's why I'm an investor. I'm an investor in startups. I have money in private equity and hedge funds, in the stock market. I do loans. I'm very diversified now. But I think for entrepreneurs, if you think you have the special sauce, you got to go all in on yourself.
I love that. Did you have a lot of people that hated on you or doubted you when you were building your business?
I mean, I'm a woman who's been very successful. Of course, I've had other people who has hated on me. It's just part of the process. So the way that I deal with that is I just try to empower as many women as possible.
Right. So how did you personally find that self-belief to go generate millions and millions of dollars? Because a lot of people, they'll doubt themselves when they start out. They kind of get worried about people saying stuff about them. They're going out of the box. How did you find the self-belief to make millions of dollars?
You just have to not care, and the things that I was building a company that was making people's lives happier and healthier. So I was excited every single day. There was nothing that was going to get in the way of me building an empire across the country that I thought was improving people's lives. And normally, the people that have something to say about that are people who normally sit on the sidelines and aren't actually doing the work. So why would I care what they have to say anyway?
They're watching from the bleachers. They're not actually in the game.
Exactly. And the cheap seats are called cheap seats for a reason.
Wow. I love that. That's game right there. Are you a reader by any chance?
Yes.
How many books have you read?
Over my lifetime?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can even do that math.
Yeah.
A lot.
A lot?
What
What was the number one book that changed your life?
Oh my gosh. The number one book that I read every few years is what I've already mentioned, and it's How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It is simple, it is effective, and it's one of the reasons we started using names at Solid Core. So if you've ever been to a Solid Core class, you hear your name over and over again. Why? Because your name is the most important word to you in any language. So I wanted to make sure that you felt seen, at home, respected, and it makes you want to come back into an environment that you feel that way.
What's the deepest life quote that you've ever heard?
Easy choices, hard life. Hard choices, easy life. Listen, I think a lot of people think after selling Solid Core, I'm gallivanting around and doing whatever. I am up pretty much every day by 5:36 a.m. I am at the gym 6 days a week. I play beach volleyball for 2 to 3 hours, 5 days a week. I cook my own food. I'm as disciplined as they come because I want to be as healthy and as active for as long as possible. And if I make decisions that aren't in support of that, I'm going to have a difficult time in my 50s, 60s, and 70s. So I choose to make the hard decision now to continue to make sure my life stays as easy and comfortable as possible.
It reminds me of this saying, the road to heaven often feels like hell, and the road to hell often feels like heaven.
Yeah, and make decisions today that make you proud of yourself today and make you proud of yourself tomorrow. So if you're going to go out drinking all day today, it might feel fun and good in the moment, but guess what happens the next day? You feel like shit, you have low energy. I just don't put myself in those situations.
Right. So was it all worth it? Was the sacrifice to build a $100 million company, was it all worth it?
Oh my, I didn't feel like I sacrificed anything. I loved every part of it. I learned so much. My team was amazing, and I got to build a company that helped people create the strongest version of themselves. I would do it all again in a heartbeat.
You got amazing advice.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate
Have a
that.
great day.
I'm actually in the beauty industry.
You're in the beauty industry?
Yes, I own a professional hair care brand that's worldwide.
How long have you been a business owner?
Wow, I've been in the beauty industry 42 years, and my very first business was a 4-foot little square that I used to do hair on. So I've always been 1099 and an independent person.
Over these 42 years across your company, what was the most amount of money that you made in a single year?
Over 9 figures.
9 figures? In 1 year? Are you a billionaire?
Yes.
You're a billionaire.
Yes, I am.
Are you actually?
Yes.
That's incredible. What do you do differently from millionaires? That's what I want to know.
I'm addicted. I love being an entrepreneur. I'm actually a serial entrepreneur. I have 15 companies. So it just starts compounding, and
It's a game.
It's a game, and I'm addicted. And some people say, oh, but now you can afford leisure. Well, what's leisure? What is leisure to people? Leisure to me is really getting to do what I love, getting to share it with people I love, and obviously giving back. So that's my
Which
leisure.
is building for you.
Yes, it is.
And have you ever been broke before?
I have, many times. Our first company completely failed. We lost everything, and then started It's a 10 with only one bottle because we couldn't afford anything else. And I was in that business with It's a 10 for 10 years with a partner, and I bought my partner out. I'm the only Latina female brand in the world of my size that's 100% owned by the original owner, the founder.
How many Latina billionaires are there?
That's a good question. I don't really know. Probably not many.
Yeah.
Not many, especially self-made ones.
When you were coming up, when you were growing, when you were building your business, how did you know you made it?
I was actually in New York City, and we had just had a few products out, and I went landing in the airport, and there was a salon in there. And I walked up to the girl behind the counter and I asked her, "Do you carry It's a 10?" And she's like, "Oh, I can't believe you're asking me that." And I'm thinking to myself, why? I mean, you're a salon. And she said, because we just sold our last bottle. And we're actually, I'm not going to say it, another brand's salon. And we aren't supposed to be carrying It's a 10. But I told my manager we had to get it in. And we can't keep it in. It's all off the shelves. And I just love the stuff. And I said, oh, wow, I'm so glad to hear that. I actually created that company. And she said, can I hug you? I always said I was going to hug the person whoever created It's a 10. So she ran around the corner and gave me a big hug. And you know, when you find that passion, organic passion behind a brand, and you become a worldwide brand built on that organic passion, it's priceless to me.
That's a beautiful story.
Thank you.
What's your last message to the younger generation? How can somebody become a billionaire in 2025?
It's not what you have, it's what you do with what you have. And a lot of people say, oh yeah, I don't work harder, I work smarter. It's not about even working smarter. It's about being more strategic. Go where they don't go, because it's a tough market out there, but if you can bring innovation or something different to it, so zig when they zag, and literally get creative and have fun while you're doing it, because you know what, it goes fast. Been doing this my whole life, and you really have to sometimes just enjoy the moment. It's a great ride.
Is this your Ferrari?
Yes, it is.
And what do you do for a living out here in Scottsdale to be able to afford a Ferrari?
I'm an entrepreneur.
How long have you been a business owner for?
3 years.
3 years. So what are you doing right now in entrepreneurship?
I own an online fitness and nutrition company.
And you've been in that business the last 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
So what was the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
So the most amount of money that we have done will be this year. We'll do north of 20 million annual reoccurring revenue.
$20 million.
20 million.
How did you?
And that's just the start, by the way, okay? Because
Yeah.
we're going to scale this thing to over 100 million.
That's incredible.
I know we can do it.
Let me first ask you this. How did you scale this company from 7 to 8 figures? A lot of business owners, they have a great idea. They really struggle to scale. You specialize in scaling companies. What took your company from 7 to 8 figures?
First of all, you got to dial in capturing the demand. So marketing and sales is huge. If you don't have somebody overseeing and driving the function of marketing and sales, you don't have a business, right? But then the challenges then that you face as a business owner is not just capturing the demand and then converting it, but fulfilling the service so that the client experience doesn't break. So that requires somebody who has a lot of operational experience to come in and build systems and process.
Now, as a multiple 8-figure entrepreneur, what was the best financial advice that you ever received?
You have to bet on yourself. You can't focus on what you're making now. So there was a time that only made $19,000 a year, right? But here mentally, I was always rich. So it's a mindset. You have to take the money that you're making and continuously reinvest in yourself. And you have to keep doing that all the way through. That's how you're going to earn more money over time. So you're the best bet that you can make. A lot of people value money over valuing themselves. I value myself over money, which is why I'm so rich.
How old are you now?
43.
How old were you when you became a millionaire?
I was actually 40.
40 years old.
So I guess it took me a long time, right? So it's never too late, right? Age is just a number. It's all about how you feel and that energy that you have inside.
But if you were to go back in time and have a conversation with your 20-year-old self, when you were starting from zero, what's the best advice that you would give to your younger self?
To not give a fuck what anybody thinks about you. You have to believe in yourself. I think when I was younger, I didn't have relentless belief in myself, and I wasn't unapologetic about who I was. It took me a long time to be who I am today.
What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
So jewelry and accessories. Yeah, retail, wholesale. I'm omni-channel, baby. E-com, all of it.
Are you a business owner?
I am. I'm one of only 20 female founders in the United States that have founded a billion-dollar brand.
So you
Can you believe that?
a $1 billion company.
A billion-dollar company with a B.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the secret to building a $1 billion brand?
So my first collection I did with $500, and then I was able to write some orders. I had a decent amount of margin. I was able to reinvest in the business. Nobody would invest in me for 10 years. I went to multiple investors. Nobody would give me a dime. Even though I was selling to big department stores and other people, no one believed in retail. So I had to do it on a line of credit card debt. I put everything I owned up for collateral. I bootstrapped this baby all the way. But as we started to get success, and one of my mentors said, if you build it, they will come. Boy, was he right. When I started having lines around the block and people coming in, they were like, all these PE firms and venture capital firms were ringing my phone, and they're like, how do we get engaged and involved in this business? Keep your head down, build a profitable business. Not just a business that looks good top line. You gotta have EBITDA, baby.
Yes,
you gotta
yeah.
be making money.
Yeah.
And that is what everybody's looking for today. 10 years in, we were able to bring investors, and here we we are continuing to grow.
So what was the best advice that you ever got from a mentor?
Look, like we always talk about, people feeling like you got to fake it till you make it, whatever it is. I totally disagree with that, but you can't be intimidated. Success is a mindset. My father always said, honey, don't be intimidated by the men in suits. I've walked into so many rooms and nobody in that room looked like me. And I had to have that confidence within myself to know I know what I'm talking about. I know that I can do this, and I'm not going to let anybody scare me today. Have that confidence, have that ability, because there's always going to be somebody that'll want to intimidate you. You got to walk in there and be like, watch out, here I come.
So as a billion-dollar business owner, you've been at the table with some heavy hitters, and you've had to negotiate and close some massive deals, I'm sure. What is your best negotiation advice for people that are in those rooms with those kind of people that may struggle with closing deals in today's world?
Look, I always say I'm a sponge. I want to hear what these folks have to say, and I try to really understand their perspective. But at the same time, I'm going to come back with that, and I've already done my research. I've done my homework, and I came in prepared. Don't go to any negotiation or any contract negotiation without doing your homework. Know exactly who is going to be sitting in that room. Know their backgrounds. Know other deals that they've done. Talk to other people that have done deals with them, and you're going to bring out things out of your hat, and they're going to go, whoa, how does she know that? How did she hear about that? I always am surprising them, and that is the art of negotiating, is you've got to be able to surprise your opponent with a little bit of a punch right when they least suspect it.
Yeah, you got amazing advice.
If you want to support our podcast and stay informed about our latest episodes, we're always creating new content every week for our podcast. Subscribing is the best way to ensure that you don't miss out on any of it. Please hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate it. God blesses you all and be legendary, my friends.